never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
The past is gone. Now's the future.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Weekly Review. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me by my side, as always, is my boy, the RWT dead man himself, Mr. Paul Morales. How are you, Paul?
I am good. Monopoly. Oh, no, I'm sorry. My bad. Anyways, yes, I am doing well. DC, my brother from another mother. How is you, my brother?
Yahtzee. We're naming out games. Someone's got. We're living. We're freezing our asses off here in the frozen tundra that is Western New York. I hate you people living in California where you don't have to deal with this bullshit.
Well, we don't have to do
this. Wait. Before we continue, let me tell you what the temperatures get the next 3 days of our temperature.
What?
76, 78, 81. And then finally we get a cool down.
Nice.
What define a cool down? I gotta know.
A cool down would probably be about the high 60s. And you love me.
I hear your 70s and your cool downs. Let me tell you what we got. As of today, we have hold on, ads. I'm not supposed to have it. So as of today, so tomorrow we have 34, 35, then 30. Friday, it goes down to 28.
Oh, so you guys are a little bit warm.
But then Monday the 9th, it goes up to 44.
Oh.
But it's going to rain all fucking day.
Hey, by the way, you want to know what's not cold?
What?
Wrestling.
No.
Hell no.
Well, I will say
WWE is not cold right now. They are blazing hot right now.
Red hot.
I will say on my end here in the Kakalakis, I am not. It's cold, but it's not snow, so that's a plus. You know what I'm saying? We don't have any snow, unlike you, Daniel.
So to give you some reference, Paul, I was house sitting for my brother and his wife and kid. 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet of snow.
Jesus.
God damn!
Literally, maybe 5-10 minute drive away, on the other side of town. Maybe 5-6 inches, if that. It's all where you're at in relation to the lake and the snow bands. But literally, that is insane to me. But what's not insane is a really good Survivor Series. 2 solid war games. Well, if you ask me, I think the women's was a little bit better.
All right. Well, we'll get into some war games talking Survivor Series in 2 seconds.
Mike, you know what? I'm just going to cut you off. We're going to talk some war games.
War games. Excuse me. Well, here is one of the reactions from Survivor Series Media Scrum War Games. Here's Io Sky and a journalist.
You're going to go up against Liv Morgan. Are you going to come with backup? Because she has Raquel in her corner. Who's going to be in your corner when you go up against Liv?
So, I am the member of Damage Control.
You gotta love Io Sky.
You gotta love Rhea's reaction. She turned to Bianca and just started busting up laughing.
Like, I am in Damage Control. I have Kairi Sane with me.
Yeah, and I have Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Dakota Kai is still a thing, people.
Yes, Dakota Kai is still a thing, people.
Well, she just won tonight, advancing in the Women's Intercontinental Championship match in the Triple Threat, beating Katana Chance and
Shayna Baszler.
I kind of thought they were going to give that to Shayna.
Same.
And I would not have been mad.
No, not at
all. I wouldn't have either, but at the same time, Shayna isn't the Shayna that she was in NXT. And Shayna wasn't the same person that she was when she first got on the main roster. So,
but they honestly, they could make her into that again.
Oh, I know. I believe that she could probably lead PFC,
Honestly,
know,
she doesn't even need them.
or PCF. Sorry, my bad. I got the letters mixed up. PCF, Pure Collective Fusion.
No, PFC, Pure Fusion Collective.
Oh, Fusion Collective. God damn it! I got the see. This is why it makes no sense to actually have that. I mean, it's not like NWO.
Well,
So
it is ridiculous, that name. I mean, it's Shayna, Zoe, and Sonya. Just like, come on.
it's like KFC just mixed up.
I feel you. I totally feel you on this one, guys. Now, I will say this, something else that came out of this media scrum as well was CM Punk and Jey Uso and the Muffins.
Almost too seriously, maybe. If it's not even about being too serious, it's just about making it as good as is humanly possible. And I think that's what. Look at the. Are those desserts or what?
Man, we asking for some desserts over here. She gave us this. Come on, Osama. Osama, come on, man. You been here longer than all our daddy. Man, I don't want them.
Okay, I'm almost too serious.
And the other one I will play from the
And you know what? To go off that though, people are saying, "Oh, that was a shot at AEW." Who the fuck cares? Maybe he just wanted some damn muffins.
That too. So here was the other one. CM Punk had no idea about Sammy's Jackass match at WrestleMania 38 because he was in AEW at the time.
These guys, you were getting beat up by Wee Man and Johnny Knoxville and Mark Henry's Hand of a Son.
What?
At WrestleMania. But to see these guys.
CM Punk's reaction, like, what? What are you talking about, Jackass? Johnny Knoxville.
Sorry, man. No, but that shit's funny. That shit is hilarious. You cannot tell me that. Wait, what?
What?
Fucking Pepsi Phil. Always with fucking some slapstick shit.
Do you remember when he was on that show? Was it Backstage?
Yeah.
And he even said he doesn't watch it. He's like, I don't watch it. Like, I watch what I need to do this, but I don't know. Do you really think he was watching Mania after, Vince, bitched to Fox and made Fox get rid of him?
Right.
No. But it's great that he you know what? It's great that those moments happened in the scrum. It's not like Cody and Jay freaking coming out drunk.
Yeet.
It's nothing like that.
You feel him, sir?
It was still great comedy just to have them sit there and talk about one, the muffins, which takes us back to AEW, the last time that they were in Canada and they didn't get muffins. Or he was sitting there eating muffins. Oh no, he was eating muffins, in that scrum,
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, there was that and everything else that happened, and it was just cool that it came back to that, and it was just a funny segment.
I mean, I look at it from a stance too, like this. It's just, this is what the scrums are about, pure fun. And I mean, with Punk, you can tell not only is he having fun, but at the end of the day too, this is what you get within the scrums and him and his personality. I mean, this is the same guy who at Survivor Series, when he came out and they had the black in the screen, because he legit pie-faced Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed was ready to mollywop CM Punk because he was not expecting that pie face. Man's got a lot of balls.
Yeah. I mean, I get the whole, predetermined all that. There are some people I still would not want to mess with.
No, Bronson Reed is one of them.
Exactly.
I remember watching an episode of Taker's show, and he said, there were guys that you didn't want to screw with. Haku was one of them.
Oh, yeah, ripping your eyes out.
And I look at Bronson Reed, it's like, I'm a big dude, but even like, no.
Yeah, that there's guys that you just don't go up to like that, and you don't do. You have to know them, and you have to, at least in those type of situations, you have to be able to say, "Hey, guess what? You know that this is just a funny thing. You know that this is just something that we're doing, and could be beneficial for everybody, including the crowd, who could pretty much get into it if they,
right.
when done right." So the fact that it happened and that, I guarantee you can't do that to Mark.
No, not at all.
Because you've already seen what he said on his podcast of, guys trying to do, crazy things, and then they ended up getting their receipts given back to them. So, funny times, the whole Spinaroonie thing.
Yep.
They were trying to get Undertaker to do it, and he was just not having it. So, yeah, there are moments and times where we know that it could happen, and it'd be great for everybody.
That brings us to our next topic, because when you think of professional wrestling and you think of everything that's going on with tough people and just overall promotions in professional wrestling, that girl Stephanie Vaquer did a interview for Fightful, and she was asked why she signed with WWE. Says she received another very juicy offer financially. Since I was a child, my dream was to sign for WWE, but you grow up, you can't be guided by the dreams you had when you were 9 years old. When I did in Mexico and Japan, I had already fulfilled the dream. I was missing this extra. Not everything is money. I received another very juicer offer financially to be a complete wrestler. I was missing beyond being in WWE. I came to NXT because it was the best women's division in existence, and that was Stephanie Vaquer. The girl made the right decision.
Absolutely.
She made the right decision.
If you look at the roster that they've been building, we'll just say pre her getting there.
Right.
You look at the roster that they've been building up. It's stacked, and literally they've been bringing in top athlete after top athlete and creating athletes, through their NIL, through, going out and signing people, indie wrestlers, and bringing them in. And then after the fact, we get Julia, we get Delta, who is now Zarya. And then, pretty soon after this year, we're going to get Jordan Grace.
Now, I have to ask you about something, because you mentioned all these names, and a lot of those names are in the Iron Survivor match for this week's NXT Deadline. But there was a little exchange on Twitter between Julia and Megan Bayne because of their interaction. A lot of people are suspecting and kind of alluding to the fact that Megan Bayne may not be going to AEW, but she may be going to NXT. I got to say, she would do well in the WWE NXT program.
Well, I think, this isn't the NXT. Like, I think a lot of people that went to AEW, in the women's division, they saw what NXT had become post the exit of, your Sasha Banks, people like that, Bayley, Charlotte, Becky. And even, once Asuka went up, they kind of lost a lot of their star power, and it had kind of fallen by the wayside. But now you're seeing and honestly, I will say it this way: the NXT women's division is better than the main roster.
Oh, 1,000%.
You have more I would say, with the exception of SmackDown. And I dig in what they're doing with NXT, honestly. And I'll say this right now: Jordan Grace signs with NXT and WWE, which I think she will. I would not be shocked to see Jonathan Gresham too far behind her.
No, not at all. And you have a already made storyline between her and Zarya since that women's match there in Philly. So, I mean, you have something there. And then Jonathan Gresham would do very well as far as the technical ability as who gets on NXT. But, yeah, that's what I'm aiming for.
And I will say this.
Yeah.
One thing I got to see on NXT, and not to change topics too much, but there's a rematch I need to see in NXT sooner rather than later. I need to see All Ego Ethan Page versus the we nominal AJ Swaggle.
Okay.
I need it again.
All right.
Who was the guest on Undertaker's 6 Feet Under podcast last week?
And we had
that interview was funny. I have to admit,
if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. I think it's honestly one of Taker's best shows.
Oh God, talk about Tommy Ball. Good Lord.
You know what? And this week's too. I love Teddy Long. Teddy Long, it was just hilarious. And his story on how the whole, you're going to go one-on-one with the Undertaker. How that came about and how that all became such a thing for for him and how it became pretty much his whole aura on, or his whole signature line on SmackDown throughout his whole tenure as GM. So those were great. The fact that I believe exactly what you said. You know, when we all kind of foresee Jordan Grace, you know, jumping as soon as her contract is up at the end of the year. I see Royal Rumble, and then I could possibly see NXT before that, and then I see a Royal Rumble appearance in February. So that's kind of my line again. You get that siren going off once again. You know, now she's in NXT. Her husband, Jonathan Grisham, yeah, I could see him there too. I believe in Joe Hendry. I still believe in Joe Hendry. I know he's still under contract with TNA. I would love for him to come back and have that Royal Rumble appearance for him to be out there.
Crowd would go wild.
No, I agree too, because we have so many people coming from TNA and WWE all around the world, and that partnership has done wonders. And I mean, we get to see the Hardys re-sign with TNA. We have Xia Li, who is officially signed with TNA. There's so many great, yeah, absolutely. There's so many great talents getting their names, and I mean, and I'll say it because it was a bust. Camille being attacked on Rampage, for God's sake, who done it? And the way that she got killed off with friggin' Mercedes Moné, the I quit. She just quit on me. And I'm like, that stuff, like, I have no interest in right now.
I want, okay, something you mentioned about the NXT women's division being Stephanie saying that that's where she wanted to go.
Yeah.
Because she saw that division, or she saw that whole division and said, that's where it's at. And I wanted to be in WWE. Now I go back to transition. I know you have this up, but I want to touch on something that Brian Alvarez said, and it really fucking irked me.
All right, hold on. We're gonna switch it up because that was who I was gonna go to after this Dave one. Give me a
okay. Well, but fuck Dave. This is where I want to go, because this is something Denise actually mentioned in her podcast. But this first, because Brian's a fucking moron.
Thumbnails.
Brian, I know it's all of him. You notice that it's literally of him and Dave.
Like, seriously, Dave's face, the second one.
Yep.
It looked like he's already been in quite a few fights in that face.
He looks like he sucked on a whole lemon.
Exactly. Well, here's my thing too. Here's what pisses me off too, and I'm gonna play the two that I know we're gonna get into. But everybody was complaining, "Oh, Nia Jax was so bad," and they were making fun of the chair shots. I'm like, do y'all realize, like, she was trying not to hit Naomi in the face, like trying to get her in the back, like she's trying to make sure that she doesn't hit Naomi in the face.
And
like,
when she cost her, she's just a bitch.
Yeah, just yeah. They went after poor Nia in that freaking war game so bad.
But she gave it right back to her credit.
Oh, absolutely. And she was really, really, I got to say, we've touched upon how Nia, like, even though these small hiccups, like, she's doing way better than she did in her first run. This is the best run of her career. But yeah, the whole Nia Jax hate this week was even ridiculous, you know?
But you know what? To her credit, you know, after the whole, when she busted Becky's face, which honestly was the best thing that could have happened for Becky, that fucking made her.
Yes.
But, you know, she kind of doubled down on the criticism last time.
Don't be fucking with my girl.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love me some Nia. Me, Amir, we love us some Nia.
Oh, yeah, we do. We love us some Nia.
She has gotten a lot better, and she's listening to criticism. If she wasn't, do you really think Triple H would keep her around?
No.
Whether she's Rock's cousin or not is irrelevant.
The fact is that Nia has done more training this time around.
Yeah.
She has done more to try and at 40 years old, mind you, she's 40 years old and still doesn't look it. You know, with what she's done with her body, how much she's transformed it, you know, everything that she's been doing as far as like working on, you know, the little things on the ring. She knows she's a big girl. She knows she needs to be that dominant person. but also not hurting people. And that's exactly what she's prevented herself from doing. Yeah, she does the Yokozuna splash off the top ropes. And yes, she lands on people, but girl's got some cushion behind her. It's not like she's just let me throw all this. Now the Laya Valkyria part, yeah, I think she kind of like, oh shit, I know I fucked it up. But Laya was just like, I felt I wasn't hurt, but god dang, yeah, she landed on me.
I mean, that's all still. I mean, she's lost a lot of weight and she looks incredible. That's still a whole lot of woman coming down on your chest.
And you ain't hearing me
volunteer tribute.
You ain't hearing me say nothing about it coming down like that on me.
I got no issue.
I don't see nothing wrong. Oh, sorry, my bad. All
right, so let's get into Brian and
with a little bump and grind. Oh, sorry, my bad. All right. So Brian Alvarez.
All right, let's get into the three that we're gonna play. The one will go at the end here. That's next to Dave's sour lemon thumbnail face. Good lord, Nia Jax was horrible in the War Games match.
Nia was horrible in this match. Why are we pretending that what I saw with my own two eyes live and everyone else saw on television is not true? She was not good in this match. Nia was horrible in this match. Why are we pretending that what I saw with my own two...
Alrighty, so yeah. Again, it goes to the point of making sure that she didn't hurt Naomi with the chair. She was playing the big girl role. Her and Raquel did their thing on the same team. She took a lot of bumps. She took that power bomb through the table. She did her due diligence with everything that we got to see her doing. Brian, I'm sorry that it's not a 5-star classic. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry she's not moving like spot. She's a big girl. She knows how to play her role. And number 3, again, we touched upon this, the match with Lyra, everything she's done since she's come back, but Triple H has invested that trust of her being that focal point as the main heel on the SmackDown brand, and she's doing her due diligence with it.
For me, it's obvious she is trying to get better and that she is trying to be better, and it's been obvious, who has she really hurt since she's been back?
No one.
No one.
Her first one, you had Charlotte, you had Becky, you had so many freaking people. You had Lana even got hurt.
Yes. Poor Kairi Sane got hurt the last time.
Poor Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane got her
Bailey got hurt.
Broken.
Yep.
Bailey got hurt.
Bailey got hurt. Charlotte got hurt. Becky got hurt. Like,
we could have the list of names. That she hurt, but yeah, she and Alexa Bliss is another person that she hurt, but Alexa is like one of her best friends, and she said she felt like crap that she hurt her. I think she separated her shoulder or something like that, or she hurt her one of the muscles in her arms, and she was like devastated. She was like, I am so sorry. And every time we saw her after that, she was barely touching people.
Well, that's my thing. It's like, this is
she was willing to quit and to retire. Yeah. Even like Charlotte, all of them have said, hey, it happens. You get in the ring, you take a risk.
And that's exactly what it is. We all know, and every single wrestler has said it. It's a risk getting in that ring, and you have those moments to where it's just a freak accident that happens. Look at Sting with Seth Rollins. Did he have? It just happened to be a freak accident in the corner on a buckle.
Yeah,
and Sting blames Rollins. He didn't have to do that. Same thing with Finn Balor when he ended up having to relinquish the Universal title, not a few days after winning it. It's those moments where you're just like, it's just a freak accident.
And Sting has come out recently. He doesn't hold ill will against Rollins.
Not at all.
He said he said when you get in the ring, you take a risk. Unfortunately, it happened.
The way I always look at it too, like, and including the Nia stuff, we mentioned Seth and Sting. Like, stuff does happen, any injury from any decade that we've seen in professional wrestling. But what they're going back on the Nia stuff that people always really like to really focus on. I'm like, this was like 4 to 6 years ago that this shit happened. Like, it ain't happening now, and that's the main thing, is the here and now. She ain't hurting anybody now, so it's like, shut your punk ass mouths. That's the way I always look at it. I mean, yes, there's the history to it, but is she doing anything now? And what's the answer? No. So it's like, shut up, people.
I would love to see Brian Alvarez and the rest of them get in the ring just one time.
Well, Alvarez has been in the ring. He does wrestle. He has wrestled.
Who?
Jungle Boy. And others on the indies.
Wait. At least I know that fucking Sean Ross Sapp has been in the ring.
Yeah, Brian Alvarez.
And we've seen, and if you go on his YouTube or you go on he has videos of him doing charity stuff and, you know, being in the ring, you know, and wrestling. So at least I know Sean Ross Sapp is out there and he's, you know, as putting in the work. So
yeah, Brian
Alvarez has been in the ring. I want to see this shit.
All right. Well, I'll find the promo and I'll find the clip and I'll send it to you both after this.
What's the rule of the internet? If you can't provide video proof, it never happened.
There you go.
Picture didn't happen.
So the one that Paul is referring to is Denise Salcedo. Shout out to our girl Denise. Was talking about why evolution needs to happen, and I did see the stream. Very poignant stuff by Denise. But Brian Alvarez said, you know, why WWE doesn't need a women's intercontinental championship, and here we go with this short.
What? Hold on a second. You're actually going to do this? You're actually going to have a belt on SmackDown for 12 women. Now, Raw, I have less of a problem because Raw has 19 women. Okay, well, you want one belt for every 10 women. We don't need one belt for every 10 women, but that's better than one belt for every 6 women, okay? At least there's 20 women on Raw. There's 12 on SmackDown. So all night I've been like, what is going on? What? Hold
on.
So this was I was going to tell this to Denise. Here's my take on it. The one thing that they can do in the next year that's coming up is bring more women up to at least to SmackDown. You know, if you shuffle them around and you give so many women to Raw, so many women to SmackDown, you're able to do this. Now, what this is based on is them actually having some storylines in rotation, at least for them to present the titles. We've seen what they've done with the World Heavyweight title and the Women's World Championship. We see that week after week. Now, in order for that to continue with this belt, with these mid-card belts for the women, is that they have to show them on TV, but they also have to have storylines behind them. Other women, the same thing that they're doing in NXT, the same thing that Sean is cooking up down in NXT, they have to do on the main roster. And I foresee it happening because if we look at the women that are on NXT right now.
Yep.
You have 27 women on their roster that are being presented every week. 27 women, and it's not just the 4 that we see regularly. It's not just Zarya. It's not just
Stephanie, Julia,
Stephanie, Julia, and Roxanne. You know, it's not just them. We see Fallon Henley. We see
JCJ.
We see all those. Continue on, dude. We could list of all the women that are being presented and shown on TV week after week.
Yeah, Carmen Petrick.
Yeah, and you know, move a couple of those young girls up. Move a few of the women back and forth between SmackDown and Raw. Level out the playing field. Eventually, now these titles haven't even been held yet.
Right. I mean, the only thing women,
and that's exactly what Brian is basing this on. Brian is basing this on the fact that, okay, there's 12 women here and there's 19 women here. Nobody's holding these belts. Nobody's holding it yet. So we have no idea what 2025 is going to bring.
Right. And I mean, for
So
the
my expectation is, or what I foresee happening is, we're gonna get storylines. And I was gonna bring this to Denise's attention, and I wrote in the comments on that specific video that you watched. I said, what's gonna happen is I see Raw going to 3 hours on Netflix.
They've already said it.
I see SmackDown going to 3 hours on the USA Network. Why? Because it's losing 2 hours from Raw on Monday nights.
Yeah.
So I see the 3 hour Raw. I see a 3 hour SmackDown. That gives them ample enough time to produce, get stuff together, get storylines together for every title that they have. This is not AEW, to where you end up having all these abundance of titles and there's no divisions for them. It's just like, it's like New Japan, to where, oh, hey, you get a title shot, you get a title shot, you get a title shot. You open up a box of Cracker Jack box, and guess what? You won a title shot. Because that's exactly what it is in AEW. And now WWE is what it's doing, is it's doing the one thing that Vince McMahon used to hate about Vince McMahon not doing, and that's not creating enough storylines for not only the women but for the men as well.
And I guess I would like to add, it keeps more women in the ring and not just floundering, catering, doing nothing. It gives them something to do.
Right.
And not only that, what does it also do? It shows little girls who maybe are watching us with their families, and they look at them and they think, I want to do this. Going back to Nia Jax, somebody like her, if you have young girls that look like that, are bigger girls, it shows them that, hey, she's a bigger girl and she's doing this. I can do this. It's more opportunities to create more stars. Like, why in the hell do you have to shit over everything? You goofy faced fucking nerd.
It's the projection, Daniel, and how everybody visualizes. I mean, I look at it like this so far. Again, we don't know. I mean, we know Bailey and Chelsea Green, and we know what's going on sort of right now for the semifinals with Mi Chin. It'll probably
If Chelsea Green does not win, is not the first WWE Women's U.S. champion, I don't want it.
It doesn't make any sense if it's not.
I'm literally down to two people. I told again, I've said this here. It's either Michin or it's Chelsea Green. And I'm on the fence on both of them. Why? Because they're both fucking excellent.
Exactly. Let them feud over it.
That's what I would like to see. That would be an awesome feud for those two to just for the first feud of that title. I don't care who's holding it, but I want that first feud to be those two just going at it. Whether Michin holds it to WrestleMania or Chelsea holds it to WrestleMania, just one of them have that moment.
Well, my thing is
one of them have that fucking moment.
You know what I gotta see? Why? One of the reasons why I gotta have Chelsea win it.
What's that?
Because you know damn well Matt Cardona's going to buy a replica and he is going to wear it to the ring in his Indies matches. He did it with the women's. He called himself one half of the women's tag team champions. He's going to call himself one half of the women's United States champion. You know he's going to do it.
Yes, he is.
I want to see it.
I want him to show up on a GCW show with that belt draped over his shoulder, and I want him to say, "I'm one half of the women's United States Championship." That's beautifully said, DC. Beautifully said.
There was an interview with Chelsea Green. They asked her about it, and she said she was mad about it, but she said, "I was so worried I was going to get in trouble for it," and she said, "But management, Triple H, they thought it was funny."
Yeah, how can you not find that funny? This is not.
And you know he's going to do it
and
again.
He bought the belt. He said as soon as she won it, he got online. He went on the that same day, and he had it expedited as fast as possible to get to the house because he had a GCW show the very next night, and he showed up with that damn belt because he wanted it. The minute it got there, he took it to the show and he got on and he said he was one half of the women's tag team WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yep.
And it was great because it was on a GCW show, something he bought, and Triple H and everybody there thought it was fucking hilarious and awesome to see.
And
that's why I think
it would have been a cease and desist.
By the way, that would be another fucking big ass pop in a fucking Royal Rumble.
Oh, absolutely. I think with what Cardona and his body of work has done over the years, I think it would be amazing. And add on to your point, like with what we have in the semis, if Chelsea Green doesn't beat Bayley and you have, I'm thinking it's going to come down to Meechin and Tiffany Stratton. Meechin has to win. Give me Chelsea Green and Meechin as the final. Chelsea Green wins, gets revenge from getting dumped in the dumpster. And like you guys mentioned, I think that would be a great first feud for that championship. And it's like, Brian, you can't say shit now because as of right now, the only thing we've established is Dakota Kai is the underdog and she wants to be the Intercontinental Champion. They highlighted a vignette on Dakota Kai. So they're going with that. This is why I also give the big middle finger to those people like, oh, they're probably going to release Dakota Kai. Nah. They're featuring Dakota Kai.
But you look at what they're doing though, is that these vignettes that they've been showing, not only on SmackDown and Raw, for all the women's who have been underdogs, and they've had one, for Meechin, they had that dumpster match between her and Chelsea Green. Imagine that again for the United States Championship.
Right.
That would be fucking great.
Like these people that were saying that Dakota Kai is getting released. These are the same people that said that Shinsuke Nakamura is next on the list.
Oh yeah, then
how's that working out, people?
And Shinsuke,
I wonder what happened to him. Whatever happened to that guy?
Which I gotta say, his new theme,
Nakamura. Whatever happened to that guy? Man, he was good back in the day.
That new theme. I know it's a rehash of his old one, but oh my freaking god, is it awesome!
Yeah,
and that little freaking red sun in the back that's just barely coming up.
Well, that was the right move, and I'll say it right here. Having Knock beat LA Knight for the title. That's death drop on the diamond plate, the Kinshasa. LA Knight dropping the belt as like a precursor to what was going to happen. Like everything on that made complete sense. I'm happy for Nakamura. It was the right call. It was. LA Knight should be in the chase.
And I believe it too. I thought, as much as I thought it would be Knight, and because this feud kind of came kind of quick, and all we got was literally like maybe one or two promos from them, the attack in the ring, and then all of a sudden Nakamura is the United States champion. Before he actually, everybody was shocked. I mean, everybody was shocked. Denise was shocked. I mean, Santi was shocked. Mini Portable was shocked. I mean, Conman was shocked. All these people were just like, what the hell just happened? Like literally, like, oh my God, like he won it. Like the 1, 2, 3. And everybody was just like, did that just happen?
Because they had listened to the reports from those two motherfuckers on the screen. He's next on the list. That they're probably going to end up releasing Shinsuke Nakamura. And a certain little bastard down in Florida probably said, oh my God, I'll pay you.
Come on, Nakamura, I'll do the Kinshasa with you.
And what happened? We get a new Nakamura with a refreshed character. And my God, is it effective?
Oh, agree, man.
But you go back to his last appearance in Noah, he actually had this look. So we got a preview of it in Noah, but this version, the fact that it's in front of everybody, oh my God, it was so awesome.
Oh yeah.
No, I will say
wait till Friday. Friday is going to be crazy.
I cannot wait for Friday, and we'll get into the rest of the Survivor Series card. But the one other thing from Brian before we get into dumbass Dave and his stupid thing, this is one that Paul pointed out to me that I did also watch. Man, y'all got to leave Ava from NXT alone. I mean, she's doing her thing as the GM now. She really has no desire to get back into the ring. She tried.
She said she can't.
I know, and she tried, but it's just like this is the best role for her. And she's doing an amazing work with it, and that's fine. Like sometimes things don't work out.
She's killing it.
She is.
She's killing it from the first from we look back at when she started.
But this good.
How it was rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was rough. But as time went along, as time has become basically her favor, it's come into her favor because she's pretty much made it her own.
Yeah.
And she's knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah. And that's why I'm just saying. And then here comes fucking dumbass Brian Alvarez. Here we go.
We're supposed to feel sympathy for Ava, but all of this is her fault.
Yes. She's
like, the reason she got knocked down is because the tag teams are brawling because of her ruling 4 weeks ago. And during the brawl, which has taken place for 3 straight weeks and she's done nothing about it, during the brawl, someone gets hit in the door, she gets bonked and knocked down. We're supposed to feel sympathy for Ava.
Brian.
Why do I hear The Rock?
Oh,
why do I hear The Rock? You need to just shut the fuck up.
There you go. So
you just need to shut your bitch ass up.
And also, the best thing came from this was friggin' Shawn Michaels channeling inner 1997 Shawn Michaels and pushing Eddie Thorpe right up against the flipping wall. Like, don't you touch her! And he just literally, like, friggin', like, gave him, like, that look. Like, Shawn turned into friggin' 97 Shawn all over again. And also, it establishes Eddie Thorpe, who's probably going to turn heel very, very soon because he's tired of this, which I'm going to say right now, I like Eddie Thorpe. Great wrestler. Seen him in New Japan, Carl Fredericks, but this is the time now for Eddie Thorpe to be a heel. The babyface run is really not working for me right now.
I want them to have all these able bodies in the background.
Right.
And one thing, I go back to my girl Denise. Denise, I love you. One thing that she mentioned is that as stacked as the women's division is, they need to start producing a lot more men in that division. And
thank you.
You see what they're doing with Ridge Holland, and it's great. It's great what we're seeing out of him. If we can get Eddie Thorpe to, even if he doesn't turn heel and it motivates him to be a better face, or he does turn heel, I don't care. I just want to see this man on our TV. I am hoping that with this whole thing that happened with Chase U, I'm hoping that them disbanding gives them the opportunity to come to the forefront, be those mid-carders for that North American title. But as they're being featured, it's not like they're not being featured on TV.
Look at Lexus.
But I would love this. I want to see them be featured in more of a prominent role on TV.
Charlie Dempsey.
Yep.
Another name. Perfect.
Regal.
Lexus King.
And Lexus King. I just want that North American title. I want Obafemi to finally just break out and be a world champion already.
I mean,
because he's that level, on that level right now. For being as green as he is and for being as new as he is, dude is on that level. That boy is a superstar.
Every so often, somebody comes along, and it's in every company, New Japan, AEW, whatever company. Every so often, somebody comes along, and there's just something special. They have that it factor, that that untangible, like, there's something about him. You can't quite place what it is, but Obafemi is a guy who I could see years down the line main eventing WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, do I think he could get over as a face? Oh, absolutely. He's got it. But I think for everything they have done with the women's, they need to start bringing in some men. Like, start bringing in some guys who, contracts are coming up in AEW soon. Who knows what's going on with Ricky Starks? There's a guy who's very nice, very evil. His contract is coming up. Bring him in.
I mean,
to add on to your point there, it's more so like you look at the people that they have on TV that they're showing week after week. The guys in Chase U, the guys in Metaphor, why aren't they? Yeah, this Heritage Cup is there, but I want to say, dude, they need to retire that thing, or just take it off of TV altogether and not tell us what the hell happened to it, because I need those guys to be either in a tag team division or involved in something that has to do with the North American title, because it just looks like they're just being shown on TV. This goes back to what they used to do in the very, very beginnings of the Attitude Era with a lot of the younger talented tag teams that they weren't doing anything with. But yeah, they were getting featured, but they weren't doing anything with them. You know, it was like New Age Outlaws and like nobody else.
Right. And I mean, I look at it from a stance too, like this. You had
I mean, aside from the headbangers, yeah, but I mean, it's literally like, you know, pass the baton or pass the tag team belts between like 3 teams. So, and the Hardys, and then it wasn't until you got the Hardys, the Dudleys and Edge and Christian that were there, and then it was like hot potato with those belts too. So,
I mean, you had the Val Venuses and you had many people that they've established in the Kyantais, but every person had a role on the show. And I mean, speaking of
no love for Los Boricuas.
Oh, well, you know,
I mean, it's a shitty theme song, but
yeah, good old Savio.
Bunch of talented guys.
True that.
That theme song was pretty terrible, though.
Yeah, it was very terrible.
Probably
one of Jim Johnson's worst.
Better work.
Oh God! Now, speaking of talents,
honestly, worst theme song though, I gotta say it. Union.
Oh God.
Union.
Oh goodness gracious. So I will say this. So as we get into the next topic before we round out the Survivor Series War Games, it's time for the Uncle Dave hour. So Uncle Dave, here's one of the first. I know. Here's one of the first things. So Meltzer,
Ryan Reynolds.
I'll be inserting that. So he responds to this tweet. Why is Tony waiting for WWE to change? Is he not supposed to be the alternative? Should he not be a trendsetter in this regard rather than a follower? And Dave says, because he and I and Nick Khan and Paul Levesque all know where this leads. Either you play by the same rules or you get eaten alive by the side not playing by those rules. If you are in a fist fight and you say, I'm going to be nice, I won't punch you in the face, and the other guy laughs at you and punches you in the face, you are creating a huge disadvantage for yourself. That's living in reality. What?
What's he even talking about?
I don't even know. Again, him and Tony still think that this is a war, and it's like WWE has been whooping your ass. And
Just out of a random thought, you have that clip anywhere or you can find that clip of
what?
Eric Bischoff when he was talking about All Elite AEW and Tony Khan and how awful they are.
Oh, with Ariel Helwani?
Yeah, with Ariel Helwani. Oh my God, he was spot on.
Oh yeah, it's right.
And
here.
I get it, and I get the fact that he has this abundance of talents on his roster. I get it. I completely get it. But what you don't have is a solid booker. What you have is doing it for the sickos.
I love you all, pay you.
We love the sickos, we'll pay you.
Yeah, we'll pay you, but you're not doing enough to bring in new people. That's why nobody watches this shit, except for the people that were like, hey, you know what? I know I'm going to go to an AEW pay-per-view, and I know I'm going to get a great show. Even though a lot of it may not make sense to me, I know I'm going to go and get to see some good wrestling action.
Right, so
that's not the issue.
Let's do this.
You know that as well as I do.
Oh, I know. Let's do this one first because he's been fucking up a lot. So this was the first one before I play the Bischoff clip. Dave Meltzer's latest report on the confusion as to whether Jade Cargill is legitimately injured, even claiming he's heard a version of the story that suggests it was done to cover for a political backstage issue. We've gotten 3 different versions of the story from those in WWE. One was that, as is usually the case with WWE parking lot attacks, that it's a storyline cover for a real injury. However, this one has been kept secretive. One person in WWE mentioned to us that it seems like nobody, including her friends, knows what the injury actually is or why it happened. Another higher-up said 100% that she is injured, and the stories denying it are false. Another version is that the injury was created to cover for a political backstage issue. For this story to be accurate, the Cargill and Belair tag team would have to be broken up to give credence to that one. If the team is put back together, that would refute that story, but it isn't. That would lend credence to the aspect of it. And then PW Insider immediately comes out. Shout out to Mike Johnson and the crew. According to PW Insider, Jade Cargill is not legitimately injured, and it's all a part of the story. Dave, you can suck it, Mr. Meltzer. Oh.
This man has no idea. It's like they're just feeding him whatever they're feeding him just for the sake of feeding him. You know, because he goes back there, he starts nitpicking, trying to find out what's wrong, what's this, and what's that. And it's like, just tell him this and tell him that, because it's just going to make him, it's just going to satisfy him, and he's going to do whatever the fuck, he's going to say whatever he's going to say.
Here's what I don't get. Wasn't it like, what was it, like a month or so ago when there were stories that, and I think it was Alvarez who said that he had heard reports of WWE giving out false stories.
Yeah, I think it was Alvarez.
You had Meltzer who went by a fake was it Wrestle Talk, right?
It was
that they were going to be doing. Was it an NXT show in the Tokyo Dome?
No, WWE in the Tokyo Dome.
It was Backlash.
Yeah,
in the fucking Tokyo Dome, and no one he said WWE has confirmed it.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Would you not think something that huge would be on WWE.com? Do you not think it would be on other sources?
Well, the Twitter was Wrestle Votes, which is a parody of Counter Wrestle Votes. So
that's what it was. It was Wrestle Votes. Wouldn't you not, if you saw that, wouldn't you think, well, let me check with WWE.com, see if there's something there? Or what wrestling companies even run the Tokyo Dome?
Right.
Pretty sure there's only one.
Yeah. New Japan.
Yeah, it's New Japan.
Wouldn't it stand to reason that the only company that would be doing a show if it wasn't New Japan would be AEW?
Correct.
Wouldn't that stand to reason, Paul?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are fucking clowns, and I do not understand why so many people put so much faith in goddamn Alvarez, in fucking Meltzer and his bullshit match rating systems. And I'll say this. What do match ratings even fucking matter? Are they making you money? Are you getting a bonus based on how many stars your matches get?
Well, that's how the indie talents are booked now, based on the fact of the 5-star matches and all that. It's sad to think, but that's what a lot of the indie owners do.
Stupid.
It is. It's stupid.
At the end of the day.
Stupid.
Exactly.
Stupid.
At the end of the day, as with anything, you go to a job, just to, get praise? No. You go to your job to make money. 5-star matches don't pay the goddamn bills, people.
I'm right there with you. And speaking of paying the goddamn bills, here's Eric Bischoff on the Ariel Helwani show talking about Tony Khan and Dave Meltzer and talking about how he has no hope for AEW.
So I just said, heck with it. It's not worth my time.
Okay. What about your take on the current state of All Elite Wrestling? What do you think? How are they doing right now?
Well, they're horrible. Come on. It's just, I've given up. I used to get really frustrated with them because I actually hate seeing people screw up good opportunities. I know what that feels like, and I know how hard good opportunities are to come by. So when you see somebody just shooting themselves in the foot day after day, week after week, in every possible way, it's frustrating for me, and I would vent that frustration. Now it's just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. There's no hope for them. Nothing's going to turn that company around. There's no light bulb going to go off in anybody's head and all of a sudden realize, oh, this is how we actually get people to watch TV. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're too stubborn to learn.
There's no chance for a story to turn, like the way NWO turned WCW around. There's no chance of any of that.
Not there.
Why not?
Because there's nobody there that knows how to tell the story. There's nobody there that knows what a story actually is. It's like, I use this analogy sometimes because it's easy to understand. Boy meets girl, boy gets girl. Boy loses girl, boy gets girl back. That's a story. It's not very compelling. Nobody cares. But if Shakespeare gets a hold of it, it's kind of like a version of Romeo and Juliet. So, yeah, you'll hear the fan base say, "Oh, there's great stories. There's stories." Dave Meltzer says there's the problem with AEW is there's so many stories people can't keep up with them. I kid you not, he said that. And people take him seriously and send him money every month. What the hell? There's the stories, if there are any, are so bad that only the lowest form of wrestling intellect on the planet finds enjoyment in it. Now, you will find some people, and I think this is cool. If you just like the physical presentation of guys flying all over the place and doing all kinds of athletically amazing stuff, and you don't care about story, you don't care about characters, that's your jam. AEW is your jam. And if that's what you like, more power to you, man. I'm glad you found it. It's just not viable for the masses. It's, as Tony calls them, for the sickos. First of all, why would you want to call your fan base sickos? Because the majority of them would prefer not to be called that. Just a hint, Tony, just a hint. But Tony's vision for that company, I guess, is to provide content for that percentage of the audience that only cares about high risk, high altitude, fast paced action, and not about story and not about characters.
He was spot on with everything that he just said. Whew. I look at it like this, and we talked about this on the TSK review, Daniel, with Mo, with everybody. I said the better show out of the two, Survivor Series and Full Gear, was Survivor Series, because you could follow the stories. Everything made sense. On AEW, there was matches that shouldn't have been on that doggone card, and it's 5.5 fucking hours, and he makes every match 20 plus minutes long. We touched upon the fact that he books us like the American New Japan, and there's stories all over the place. It's hard to understand, or he intertwines storylines. That's the problem between AEW and WWE. WWE stories are very easy to follow. And I'll mention this because Eric mentioned boy meets girl, boy, loses girl, and then they get back together. I will give it like this because she's our girl. We love her. I'm going to talk about Danielle Fishel, a.k.a. Topanga. So I'll talk about Topanga.
You mean Topangahausen.
Topangahausen, yes.
Get it right, Maggle.
Oh, I'm sorry, Topangahausen. Okay, I'll compare Topangahausen. Boy Meets World in season 5 had a 6-week storyline with Danielle Fishel, Ben Savage, and Linda Cardellini when they brought her in as Lauren, the girl that he talks about. What?
All they did was talk. All
right. So for those who are
go ahead.
They did a 6 friggin' week storyline of Lauren, Topanga, and Corey. So they talk at the ski lodge. Corey drops the friggin' note. Sean tells him to lie, and he lies. And he does it so well. Then the friggin' letter falls out. Then she's all shocked. And then the next week, they go to friggin' this is the one where they're trapped in the boathouse. They want to talk. When are you going to tell me about the letter? He goes to Chubby. She's not there. The following week, she comes back into town. He goes on the date with her because Topanga told him to, which it's a trap. Like, it's a trap. Don't go on the fucking
That's all he kept telling her. It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Don't fucking do it. So he goes on the date, and
That's a trap.
It's a trap. Linda Cardellini puts him under his jacket. Oh my God. And the water fight. And then he likes them both, and he can't decide. And the infamous Corey, I can't see you anymore. And he's heartbroken. And then we get to the following week where they're at the party and he's drunk and he pees on the cop car. And then the following week it's the infamous And Then There Was Sean episode with Jennifer Love Hewitt and everything that goes into that. And then the following week it's fucking Starry Night where they get back together after Topanga goes out with the guy. And then the 7th week is friggin' Sean brings them back together, even though they're already back together. It's a whole thing. So they went 6 to 7 weeks of compelling television of our Corey and Topanga going to be back together. It's so easy to follow those 6 to 7 weeks. Tony, it's just like, oh, over here, we're going to have MJF and Adam Cole do this thing, but it's reversed now. We're going to flip it and reverse it because, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong are all of a sudden the baby faces. And now Kyle O'Reilly's going to get involved because, it's like, damn it, Max. Damn it, Adam, you're obsessed with Max and blah, 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 blah. Adam! And it doesn't make any sense because Kyle O'Reilly's with the conglomeration, and then you have Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii chopping each other like they did 2 years ago, and it's the shits. So there's stories going all over the place, and he intertwines them, and it makes no fucking sense. Like, why are Christian Cage and Adam Page together? Oh, because Christian Cage is going to give him a title shot, if he wins it, and then they're boys now because they wrestled and tagged 2 matches together. And what? So, yeah, and now Jay White has a problem with Christian because he's like, I owe him one. When did this happen? Like, it's all over the place, and you can't fucking follow it.
the problem is, and I remember sending you guys the clip. Bishop said, you know, they asked him if there's anybody that could fix it. And he said Bully Ray, and he said that quick. The problem is, even if you brought Bully Ray in, I really don't think that Tony would listen. You know, he'd listen for a little bit, but it's that ego, you know, and Vince had it too. Vince had it. Could you imagine if Vince was still running the show and they said, well, let's bring in so-and-so to help?
Right.
No.
So here's context for what Daniel's saying.
Is there someone out there that you think, man, that guy's an untapped resource for creative? He'd be a home run as the sole booker for a promotion like AEW.
Bully Ray.
Okay. Didn't expect
No
that from you.
hesitation.
Is there someone out
No
there that you think,
hesitation.
man, that guy's an untapped resource for
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
No, none.
None. Why? Because even Bully, I've said this before on past shows.
Yep.
Bully Ray has offered on Busted Open, online, has told Tony, said to him, I will come there, I will help you. Yes, people have listed, oh, well, he's on a Legends deal with WWE. Who cares? Do you know what a Legends deal is? It's appearances.
And it's
It's coming in to do
only.
things. And appearances only. It doesn't. And yes, he did a thing in a couple of weeks ago at NXT 2300 at the 2300 arena. Yes, he did that. Fine and dandy. Yes, him and Dave LaGreca showed up on NXT TV at an NXT pay-per-view a couple of weeks prior to that. Yes, that's a Legends deal, but it doesn't mean that he can't work anywhere else. And if Tony were to hire him on, yes, he would be like, okay, I'm going to take this job. Thank you for the deal. I can, I'm pretty sure that I'm almost guaranteed this is not Vince. They would let him out of the deal and he can go to AEW and work for them. Now, with that being said, he's offered this multiple times. Told Tony Khan, tagged him multiple times on post. I will help you. I will come in there and help you for free.
Yep. Rene Dupree said
You don't even have to pay me. I will come in and do it for free.
Yeah, I mean,
He hasn't taken advantage of it.
Bully Ray has offered. I hate him, but Vince Russo has offered. Bishop has offered.
Rene Dupree offered.
So many people that
Kevin Nash even offered.
And even when you had Ric Flair under contract, one of the greatest of all time, it's ego. It's I know what's best.
I'll do you one up. You have Jeff Jarrett there.
Yeah, but he
and
doesn't.
Yes, he may not be the greatest of all time, but god damn, dude, if TNA would not have gotten off the ground like it did without Jeff Jarrett.
That is factually
You know it. I know it. All three of us know it.
Yes, sir.
All three of us know that that TNA would have never gotten off the ground had it not been for Jeff Jarrett.
Can you what about Dixie Carter and Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Fuck them two.
I had to.
No, because that stupid town hall meeting, and she was easily persuaded by Hulk Hogan, that infamous MSG, press conference. But you saw what happened. Hulk brought in the Nasty Boys. He brought in Jimmy Hart. He brought in all his peeps, and it went nowhere. They decided to go to Monday night, which was a huge mistake because it did not last long. The Monday Night Wars 2.0, and then they went right back to Thursday. It was not the time to go to Monday, but Hulk was like, we got to go to Monday. We'll compete. And everybody was excited. But then
okay. And, that's a problem. And look, I'm sure Tony's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
The problem is that he can't give up creative control, step back and just be the money guy. Give it a year. Tell Bully Ray to say, I'll give you 6 months. Do 6 months. Say, I will give you 6 months. If it works, stay on. If not, we can part ways, and the sad part is you have some of the absolute best talent in the wrestling world, and apart from your biggest thing is the Death Riders, in which why the hell is Pac always in his ring gear?
Oh, I know. He doesn't.
Does the dude not own any like street clothes? Like,
does he not own any jeans? Does he not own any shorts? Does
or
he?
a hoodie?
He did in WWE. He came out in jorts.
He did.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense why he couldn't put on a pair of. I mean, he every time you see him, he's always in ring gear, like he's gonna fight somebody in the ring.
I think what's interesting about that, and I hate the reason why they came together. I hate the influence of the gimmick, and you know why. But it's one of those things with the Death Riders now. I'm just kind of like meh with it, just to see where it goes. I know Orange Cassidy lost the whole 9, but I am curious now because I know we got the whole thing with Hangman Adam Page and Jay White, and then Marina Shafir looks like she's literally rockabye babying Jay White with that choke that she did on Wednesday, which was just goodness gracious. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we got winners coming now I'm looking forward to Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. That I'm actually looking forward to, because those two just are going to go absolutely bananas, and it's going to be really, really good. But a lot of what we're doing in AEW now, like we mentioned Camille getting taken out, and who cares with her and Mercedes, there's just a lot that doesn't emotionally invest me and want me to tune in, which brings me to the final talking point of Uncle Dave before we talk Survivor Series and get into that whole 9. I know we mentioned a little bit of it, but here was the latest. So the big integral part of this was AEW and NXT again. NXT did 632. AEW did 536. This is from the Thanksgiving episode. And why this is such a big deal is because last year did 845,000 on Thanksgiving Eve with a 0.2 in the demo. So they dropped 30, that's about, from 845 to 536, 3,000 less than what they did in the last year. So I almost said 30,000, 3,000 from last year. So Uncle Dave, again, he always has to flip the script on the ratings. He wrote, AEW did 536K, 0.15 on Wednesday in the demo. 5 p.m. on the West Coast is part of it, but that doesn't explain the entire drop. More to come. Because it was 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Paul, you want to comment on that?
More to come, but there never is. There never is.
And Paul, you want to explain 5 p.m. on the West Coast while here and there is at 8 o'clock? You want to talk about that? It was 5 p.m. on the West Coast.
Let's get this straight. Did you know that the Survivor Series pay-per-view ended 45 minutes before Collision came on TV?
I didn't even know that, to be completely honest with you.
It ended 45 minutes before it started on the West Coast.
Good Lord.
I don't want to hear shit. I really don't want to hear shit, because Dave Meltzer has this whole fucking criteria in his head where the numbers fucking matter. Like, the numbers have to be specific in order for everybody to be happy, in order for everybody to say it's productive. It's maddening that it would even be a fathomable idea that these numbers are just numbers. Yeah. Who cares? And we can go back to this whole thing like, oh, well, there's such and such basketball game, or, such and such sporting event, or, or whatever is going on. Like, it couldn't just be the fact that AEW sucks.
No.
AEW just fucking sucks
right now.
Wrestling, great. Storylines suck fucking monkey balls.
And that's why people dip and go this way and tune in WWE, because you may not like it, but the stories make sense. I said it's easy to follow. Like tonight, Daniel brought this up because I conked, and Daniel watched Raw as well. Drew McIntyre coming back, and him and Seth Rollins, that pairing makes sense because they both hate CM Punk, and it makes sense for them to get together.
I honestly thought they were going to stop this. I honestly thought they were going to put Drew on a different path. But apparently this is not going to happen. It's going to be they're going to continue this because, well, it's pretty much like the Bloodline, to where now you just have Drew fucking needing to hate on CM Punk even more.
Right.
You know, going back to the ratings thing, because I think it bears mentioning. No, major networks really don't go by ratings anymore.
No, not at all.
Ever since the advent of streaming, DVRs, like ratings really aren't. There isn't as much of a emphasis put on it.
Right.
Like, I mean, apart from like big events like the Super Bowl, like World Series, yeah, then they kind of will put emphasis on it. But it's more about, replays. How many times was this clip watched on, YouTube, X, TikTok, whatever? How many times was this show watched on Netflix, Peacock, whatever? How many times was this watched? Because they've even said it. Nielsen, the company that does the ratings, has even said there's really no efficient way to check the ratings for people that DVR their programs.
I mean, you mentioned streaming, like 104 million views. They even highlighted and touted tonight on Raw for Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and just the overall, just him doing that. And the cage, like a lot of people view that was one of the most watched reels in the history of the WWE Instagram. That one little thing, because it was such an integral part and detail.
It really was the most watched reel.
It was the integral. It was the most integral part of the match. Thank you. I see. I saw what you did there. But no, that's the thing too. And I get frustrated. And again, it's not hating. You do too, Paul. You do as well.
I just hate everything. So
I'm gonna say this. So I'm looking at YouTube. Yeah. Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam in Game 1 of the World Series has 2.6 million views.
Wow.
Now, a lot of those, yes, were probably within a majority of that was probably within the first couple of days or maybe the first couple of hours after it happened. But you're talking about a month ago, and it has more than 2.6, almost 2.7 million views. We look at WWE and the things that they have on their streaming, and we can go back to the exact same thing with AEW. We look at clips from their pay-per-views. I'm pretty sure that a lot of their clips get over 1 million views that they put on their website. I mean, probably get a million views. Pretty much the exact same thing with WWE. We know those are what matter, are what are beginning to matter more than Nielsen ratings. It's not like it's like DC said, it's not a Super Bowl, it's not a World Series, it's not the NBA Finals, it's not the Stanley Cup. Those things you do ratings by. Series finales, Friends, MASH, Seinfeld. You look at those and be like, oh my God, well, so 16 million people watch the season finale of Friends, or 18 million people watch the season finale, a series finale of Seinfeld. Those matter. Yeah. This don't mean a damn thing.
And I mean, just as an aside, the YouTube clip of CM Punk returning at Survivor Series 2023. You want to know what the current view count on that clip alone is right now?
What is it?
13 million people. That has been viewed 13 million times.
And that was a year ago.
Based on that.
Yep.
That was 1 year ago.
Yeah. So this emphasis on ratings, I don't understand it. Like, why the hell? And I've said it to you guys. Mike, you've heard me mention it on the TSK show. You've heard me mentioning it on Max. Why in the hell can we as wrestling fans not just enjoy the show? Why can't fans just enjoy what they're watching? And if somebody wants to watch WWE, fine, let them enjoy that.
It's the same that goes with AEW, but I think
exactly.
But the thing too is, I think how I hate coming on here and burying AEW and criticizing and being frustrated. But
stop making it so damn easy, Tony Khan.
Yeah, but the frustration comes from, again, people like, oh, it's. I hated the comment because somebody commented on our shorts. on the YouTube channel where it's just like, oh, I think it's a cool thing now to hate AEW. No, it's not a cool thing to hate AEW. They suck. I had the same energy in 2019 when WWE, it sucked. And now here's the difference. 5 years later, WWE got better. AEW has gotten worse.
WWE has sucked big old donkey dick for
a long time.
At least 20 years with a couple spots in between.
Yeah.
But what would you say, Paul? Around 20 years at least?
We will go from 93 to 90 late 95.
That sucked.
And Mo and I were doing the reviews of
I would agree
the
with that.
Monday Night Wars. Mo and I were doing the reviews of the Monday Night Wars, and we were in the hardest parts of the beginning because it was so horrible. The pay-per-views were okay, yeah, they were good, but when you got to just the weekly television shows, it was so hard to watch because a lot of them were just like no-name sandwich cookies, them being in smaller venues, with the exception of WCW doing the Mall of Americas in Minnesota. They started doing like Greensboro Coliseum. They started doing those, went back to a lot of the NWA mainstays for them, and they knew that those were the hardcore places. But you look at WWE, they were doing weekly shows, weekly tapings, of shows. They would do back to back tapings of shows.
Yeah, Hammerstein, they would do like a month at a time.
Yeah, and they would do like a month worth of shows, and that was something that Mo and I had pointed out too. Like we were looking at where they were located at. Like they were in Nassau Coliseum. They were there for like 3 weeks, and we kept saying, like, are they still there? Like, oh my God, they're still there. Like literally. And yeah, WCW was doing different shows in different places, but yeah, the fact that WWE was doing this, and that's something that we've mentioned already. And I think Bully Ray had said that that needs to be their hard reset, is to go into smaller venues, go into smaller places, 3,000-4,000, less than 5,000 people, venues like that, and pack them in. Because those places you could pack in. Smaller places in the middle of the country, those places you could pack in. Hell, you could even go back to Daly's place and probably pack it too. And that's just what they need to do. That's literally the hard reset in order for AEW to go back to being something somewhat successful. It needs to be in smaller venues and get the hell out of all these bigger places.
So there's a venue, and Mike, you being a fellow New Yorker, you may know the town name, maybe you don't. Little town called Binghamton, New York.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's about 4 hours away from New York City. To give you an idea, like WWE, they've been there in the past. They did Raw there a couple times. They've done house shows, and I think ECW did an event there, and WCW I think did Thunder there a couple times. They have their seating capacity is 7,200.
Okay.
That would be the perfect size for AEW.
Oh, agreed. And I think what also kind of takes the thing away from it too is Tony is becoming what he hates, that being Vince McMahon, and everything that's going on with Ricky Starks, and how he's like, it's like a mental mind fuck, as he put it, on with Chris Van Vliet about not knowing what to do. He's going to be there till 2025, and then he got taken off of GCW because of Effie's dumbass. What he said on his podcast. So I mean, there's that also frustration.
Yeah, but hold on. That wasn't because what Effie said. It was just the fact that Tony's just being Tony.
Yeah,
and yeah, he may have taken what Effie said, but
yeah,
Effie wasn't fucking wrong. And I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what any of those fucking critics say and anything.
Right.
Effie wasn't fucking wrong for what he said, because everything he said was spot on and fucking true.
Very much so. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's Tony being petty.
And I love, though, that, everything that people putting the blame also on Ricky Starks. Like, well, he should have gone to Tony with all the creative ideas. He should have said this. He should have said that. Well, at the end of the day, it's Tony. It's Tony's call. And how do we know that things haven't been said? Oh, well, reports say this. You ever think reports could be wrong?
It's the same report. Like, he debunked the rumor of he didn't want to work with big casts and that creative. He's like, yeah, that's just a rumor. That's not true. Ricky Stark even said that that's not true.
He had no issue with it.
He had no issue with it.
Like, and you know, people like they treat him like the Messiah. It's like
they give him a pass. They give him a pass.
Khan, when AEW started, he said he did not want to be Vince McMahon. He
And what-
didn't want to be that guy. But what does he do? He free. I remember when Vince froze Rey Mysterio's contract for 18 months, the internet wrestling community was up in arms.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
But yet, when Tony Khan freezes Rey Phoenix's contract for a year, oh well, he's just doing what people said he should do.
Well, he gets a pass. He gets a pass. He's a fanboy, and
he takes his ball and says, "No, you can't play with it. This is mine."
Well, that's the exact same shit that he did with Ricky
He's
Stark.
Vince McMahon. Yep. He is becoming Vince.
Everything that he hated, everything that everybody told him how Vince was, is exactly how he's becoming. And literally, he is taking his company and shoving it into the ground. And yes, we can have this whole thing with John Moxley running over to whatever magazine he went to, or whatever newspaper he went to. Yeah, whatever him going over to the New York Post and saying what he said. Yeah, okay, fine, dandy. But this doesn't need to be a hard reset. This needs to be a y'all for the fam yetnam, literally rolling it back and saying, guess what? If you go back to that first year, you go back to those first couple of years of AEW, where it was at its biggest, where it was starting out and being bright, big, and everybody was enjoying it. You go back to that, you may get people to come back. But until then, ain't nobody interested unless you're promoting your company.
Two points that I feel really need to get made. Number one, he is signing people just so WWE can't have him. He's a petty bitch. I'll say it. The other thing, and there was recently an interview with Ukes Interactive, the company that used to make the WWE video games, and they made that god-awful pile of dog shit AEW Fight Forever. If you want to see my opinions, check out Uncaged. We talked about it last season.
Yes, sir.
So they said they don't foresee there being another one, at least from them.
Well, that makes sense because of how bad that fucking game is.
He is becoming what he didn't want to be. And the problem is that he doesn't have people that are telling him no.
Okay, what is the worst video game that WWE has put out?
2K20.
2K20 is the worst one they ever put out. You want to know that that's actually better than Fight Forever?
Oh yeah, easily.
That I can agree with. Yes.
I mean, I had so much.
I played Fight Forever. I literally downloaded it. I bought it, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I have a Switch.
Right.
I have a Nintendo Switch. I bought it. I got it on there. I was like, yes, cool. I had it on there half a day. I was playing it, and I was like, this is some dog shit. Like now, mind you, I played WrestleMania 2000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
yes.
And I love that game. I love that game.
No Mercy.
No Mercy. WCW versus NWO. I'm a big fucking proprietor for fucking video games.
Right.
My thing is like, especially wrestling video games. My thing is like, that one was dog shit.
Oh yeah.
It was complete dog shit, and you could have done so much better. And for as many glitches and everything that are in that game, it's like unless you're gonna get like EA Sports or you're gonna get like Activision to come in and do something for you, don't ever go anywhere. Don't ever go cheap with your fucking with your video games.
Here's the problem. The problem was they announced the game way too soon. And there were very few updates to where I honestly think they finally said we got to get it out. And the problem was you had very few match types. The death match was fun, but it got old quick.
Yeah, but how many times are you gonna do a death match?
That's what I'm saying. Was it fun the first couple times? Yeah.
Yeah, those were things again, back to the things that you did the exact same thing. Like I literally gameplayed it, tried different modes on it, and it was like my only thing is every glitch in the damn game, and I'm trying so hard to be like, okay, I got to be objective about this because I've seen glitches. You mentioned Raw 2020, or you mentioned the 2020 game.
Yeah.
That one was very glitchy too, but not as bad as this. Not as bad as this. And that one had a Bray Wyatt character that I fucking love to play, but still, that one, that Fight Forever was just horrible.
Look,
I literally took it off. I literally took it off and downloaded WW20. Actually, it was 2007.
The one with Rollins on the cover, right?
Yeah, the one with Rollins on the cover. I literally downloaded that one and I said this one was a hell of a lot better for fucking $20.
I mean, I played WWE Crush Hour, and that
I'm playing fucking Asphalt United Asphalt, so I'm cool just playing that right now.
I'll play
I would rather play Showdown Legends of Wrestling.
Oh man! Oh god, that game was hard.
No. I'd much rather play wrestling on fucking Nintendo.
I'll friggin' play Backstage Assault over friggin' any of that. That's how bad it is. I'll play Backstage Assault.
Man, you know what? Y'all doing this? We gotta fucking review some fucking some of the games, man.
Oh, that'll be a season on Uncaged, absolutely.
Okay, well we got to do that one on Uncaged. Okay, now back to this show.
But going back to it, like the problem is that Tony Khan doesn't want to listen to other people.
No, he'll just say yes. Okay, John, you want to be a neo-Nazi? Go ahead.
Like, and it's just. What I don't get is he's a guy who at one breath says, yeah, I'm willing to work with WWE. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do that.
No, but he's not. Because he's not. And I could tell you why he's not willing to do it is because he's not willing to give up the creative control.
No, he's not.
He is Vince McMahon.
Yep.
He doesn't like the fact that some of these guys would have to lose. But let's look at it this way. Look who is more than likely when their contract is up is going to be fucking gone. Starks, gone.
Yep.
Phoenix, gone.
Wardlow,
more than likely gone. Big Bill, I would not be shocked if he leaves too.
Oh, they would take him back in a heartbeat. Like that dude looks fantastic, and he's
another point to consider. And WWE is not the same company that it was. Like you mentioned, Camille.
Yeah.
One of the greatest women's wrestlers out right now, and they're squandering her.
And NWA booked her way better. Billy Corgan booked her way better.
I will praise that to the high heaven. I will praise Billy Corgan to the high heaven for keeping her as champion over 700 days because that woman was awesome.
She was
just awesome, and she took on everybody. Fuck it that it was a pandemic. Forget the fact that it was a pandemic. That girl still went out and she wrestled every fucking woman on that roster twice.
Yep.
And ran through them all until she gave up that title. Why? Because Billy Corgan booked her as being pretty much that Goldberg-esque type wrestler.
The Gunter type.
Oh, yeah.
Or Gunter type. I'm sorry. That one, too. I mean, and literally going out there and kicking ass, taking names.
And in the span of 2 months, Tony Khan has killed her by already losing to Chris Statlander and just making her look like a little bitch to Mercedes Moné.
Exactly. She could have went to WWE and been Zarya.
Yeah, but no. Well, like Dan said,
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that having that woman in WWE on NXT and fuck, you know what? Skip NXT because she is actually a main roster fucking character. She's on the main roster.
Part of the problem is, and Tony Khan, he strikes me as the kind of guy, and I hate to harp on him, but
he sucks.
He strikes me as somebody that he needs the adulation of people around him, and he doesn't have objective voices. And I think honestly, he thought some of these people were going to sign with him, like Stephanie Baker. He probably thought, oh, she's going to sign with me. Julia going to sign. No. And, he thought he was going to get the Motor City Machine Guns.
He didn't get
they've even said he never put forth a serious offer.
Okay.
So you have all these insanely talented names that are now showing up in WWE. And I guarantee you, he got butthurt over the Guns. And that's why he's keeping Rey Fenix.
And now we have.
He got mad at what Conan said. That's why he's keeping Rey Fenix.
FYI, I just thought of a roundtable discussion that I'd like to do with everybody.
Sure.
And that was literally doing the hard reset for AEW.
Okay, so that'll definitely be one for the wrestling roundtable. And I have to also add to his point, that being you, Mr. Daniel Crimmins. Tony Khan, and I'll make another Boy Meets World reference. Yes, I'm going back to Boy Meets World. That season 4 episode, 16 Candles and 200-Pound Men. I'm talking about it. Yes, Frankie Stechino, Daniel Fishel, and her birthday, getting in touch with the father, Vader versus Shawn Michaels. I got my shot at the belt, boy, and whatnot of them dancing at the end of the thing. He is literally Corey Matthews.
In the ring, at the forum.
At the forum, baby. He is literally Corey Matthews. Is it just because I want everybody to love me? No, because you have a good heart, but that too. Yes, he's literally Corey Matthews. He wants everybody to love him. Tony Khan is Corey Matthews.
I would not be shocked, and I've said it to
you. Do not disgrace fucking Corey Matthews.
I'm sorry, Corey, and I love Ben Savage as Corey Matthews. I don't mean to disgrace him, but that's what
I would not be shocked whatsoever if Tony Khan is somehow involved in this Death Rider thing, because clearly this whole shit with Shane McMahon, those discussions fell apart.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, I will say something that didn't fall apart as we get
Come to my company, Shane, I'll pay you.
Oh, Shane, I love you. Here comes the money.
Because honestly, do you really think, with all the knowledge that Shane has and all the help that Shane could be to Tony, do you really think Tony would listen to him long term?
No, he's not going to listen to anybody because I do it for the sickos. And
he's Vince McMahon.
And Uncle Dave said that he liked it. So that means it must be great. That's literally what he is, because Uncle Dave liked it. That means it must be great.
Oh my God, my company's the best ever.
Oh my God, Dave, you made me the Booker of the Year. I love you. So then we get to the final portion of the show. We mentioned Survivor Series early. Women's War Games match, EO, we mentioned it during
War Games
was excellent. Nakamura's reinvention has been excellent. Braun Breaker looking like a motherfucking star against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Oh my God, Braun Breaker with those spears, the tackles, those three had great synergy together. I really have to say this from top to bottom, the 5 matches we got, the continuation of CM Punk and Roman, he owes him a favor, that being Paul Heyman. Gunther, the same thing, Finn Balor cost him, and we're going back to more Judgment Day stuff. I got to say, fellas, overall, I thought it was a very solid show. I really did.
Yeah. And it told stories, like it told continuing stories, which, people think, like, can't really tell what you tell. Okay, you have Finn Balor getting involved in Gunther's business again.
Yeah.
And we are now getting Gunther versus Finn Balor, most likely at Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
We have further dissension with Judgment Day, which if you watched Raw tonight, you saw that segment with them saying, hey, I thought we agreed that you're going to leave us alone. And Balor basically saying, yeah, but then I just had that Dom couldn't get the job done, so I just had to do it on my own.
If you listen to Finn, you will win.
It's gonna come down to this. We saw how good the show was. Good. It was about mid good. because a lot of it was pretty much. I really thought the men's was going to go the other way. I really thought the 2.0 were going to win. Now, here's the reason why, is because I think it needed them to win. At least in my perspective, they needed the win more than the OG Bloodline. As much as you gathered them together and everything, and yes, this was kind of like one of those. I pressed everybody together. We still haven't got Roman to give any forgiveness to anybody or give any I'm sorry to anybody in the group, for anything that he did. So it's like everything that CM Punk said, or Seth Rollins, or Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins tonight on Raw, everything that they said was pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
Now, going forward, do I foresee something even more happening? Of course I do. But it's wrestling, and we don't know where the hell this storyline is going to go. But I think personally, I think the 2.0s probably should have won, or if it should have been a lot closer than what it was.
I think realistically, I think they're going to cool it with the OG versus 2.0 stuff. But I'm reminded a couple months back, I'm not sure exactly when this took place, but something that Paul Heyman said. He said, I will come back when it's relevant to the story. But when I do, it will lead to the next year's worth of storyline. So, people say, well, what's the favor? Personally, I think eventually it's going to lead to CM Punk. What did Punk say he wants? He wants the main event spot at WrestleMania.
And he pointed that out tonight.
And if I'm booking this,
pointed to nothing.
I might have Royal Rumble come down to CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman screwing over Roman to help Punk, and that being the favor.
I like that.
I sent you guys the clip earlier. That's the one I wanted you to play. Was from Busted Open, because that was the one that Mark Henry and Bully Ray actually kind of alluded to.
Yeah.
What they believe that
I did watch that. Yeah.
We're gonna end up getting a heel CM Punk, because you're not going to get face versus face. Not that it couldn't work, but part of me thinks that if Cody's going to lose the title, it's probably going to be to CM Punk. So that's just.
I mean, the rumors are that he's dropping it not this Saturday, but next Saturday to KO.
Well, I mean, I think that's good.
Personally, not to cut you off, Mike, but if that happens, if they go that route, then what I would love to see for Royal Rumble, and maybe it's me just being a fanboy, but I would love to see Sami Zayn win the Royal Rumble and the main event of WrestleMania be Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the WWE title.
I mean, that comes full circle with what we've seen from.
And then you have Sami Zayn, second year in a row, beating Kevin Owens. Or not beating Kevin Owens, but beating an unstoppable champion.
I like that scenario, and I think that's what I love about today's WWE booking, is just because there's so many twists and turns. You don't know where they're going to go, but where you're going to go, you are in for the ride. And I will say this about that ride, and here's what's beautiful, because you see photos and everything inserted. So the clip of Bully Ray from Busted Open will be inserted here, as I put my hand up there. Here.
What is the one thing Punk never got in the WWE that Paul Heyman may be able to get him to get him? The main event spot at WrestleMania.
There's not going to be two baby faces. So you're going to have to make Punk the heel. And we all know that Punk is way better heel than he is a baby face. That's fine. I dig it. But more than anything, you're going to help me do it. And you're gonna do it because I did you a favor, and I'm asking you to. Screw him. That's what you're gonna do. I know you love him, but you're gonna do what I ask because that's the favor that I'm
You're
asking.
gonna help me take down Roman Reigns.
So with that being
Brother
said,
Woo!
So with that being said, we thank you for taking this ride with us for the weekly review, and we will be back touching upon the aftermath of NXT Deadline, which airs this Saturday, main evented by Trick Williams and Ridge Holland for the NXT Championship, 2 incredible Iron Survivor matches, a tag team championship match, and so many good things coming
And
on.
who knows what else we're gonna see?
Oh, dude, it's gonna be sweet. And then the following week is Saturday.
Say his name, man. He appears.
I believe in Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff will be on NXT tomorrow along with Xbox. So we'll be reacting to everything that happens this coming week. So with that being said, Paul Morales, where can we follow you on the socials? Go ahead, my friend.
You can follow me. Actually, I am going to give you my link tree. It'll be in the link below. You can find all my socials down there. Of course, you can follow me on the Dead Man of RWT. I haven't left Twitter yet. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Threads. You can find me on TikTok. Also, you can find me on YouTube. Same name, Dead Man of RWT. Mr. DC, my brother from another mother, living in the cold, freezing your werewolves off. The floor. I hope you have a warming pad up under them. The floor is yours, by the way.
You know what? To quote my favorite author, winter is here.
It's not coming, but it's there.
Not coming, but it's
here. It came early, which for us, sometimes that happens.
Hey! What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? If it happens early, if it comes early and leaves late,
the pundit is back. I'll be recording probably within the next day or so. I was with family over the holidays, so I didn't record there at all. So that's coming. Got more coming there. We have more coming here. Some great shows coming up. Mike and I will be recording sometime soon with our first episode of our new season with Muhammad Hassan. What went right? What would we have done differently? A lot went wrong. Should have been to the moon.
To the moon.
That's the one I was joining you on. That's the one I was joining.
Yes.
What do you got coming?
So, SM Show 1 or MCL92 on the Twitter front. You can check out StephenMikeShow.com and LFCfights.com. M Larkin MB and Larkin_92 on Instagram. I started a Blue Sky. I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm gonna be going more towards the Blue Sky as well. And you can check out this YouTube, Mike Larkin 92. Subscribe, check us out. We're over 1,070 now. People, y'all are the best. Keep subscribing and keep watching what we do each and every week. And check out the weekly review. Check out Uncaged. Check out Deep to the Heart of Wrestling. Check out the Stephen Mike Show. Check out the Pop Culture History Podcast. Check out the LFC Podcast.
Subscribe to his YouTube channel.
To the channel on the Mike with Mike. We're coming, motherfuckers. Woo! So with that being said, for Paul Morales, for Daniel Crimmins, my name is Mike Larkin. Not only will I pay you, but we love you. And
we do this for the seconds.
We love you all. Bye. Oh my God.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow.
The past is gone. Now is the future.